It's flavored.
No, it's great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I used to get some of the flavored, but it never worked well.
I like the lime one.
The lime one's okay.
Yeah.
I felt it was a little heavier. I think I'm a little more
Gotcha. You need something that's gonna.
more LaCroix for that kind of shit.
Gotcha.
Because it's a little more of a hint, and I don't do many sugars, so when it's really heavy,
Well, that one.
I taste it.
Well, that one, the sweetener in it is agave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it actually is a naturally sweetened thing.
Delicious.
Which I really like. Both me and Barbara, we put tequila in it.
Yeah.
Tequila soda, and it's already got lime flavored.
Fuck.
And it's actually really good.
That's something I might have to consider. Yeah. Flavors for like an alcoholic drink would be cool. I mean, at this point, like I might as well own stock in the fucking company. I like liquid that's kind of planned, trying to get like death to plastic, all that bit. I should dig into it more to see how ethical they really are, but it seems decent. I don't know.
No, I mean, I like the style of it. I mean, obviously they're cool. Like, the whole thing is, it's cool to drink flavored water,
I do like watch myself. I'm in Zoom meetings all day, and I do watch as I pick up the can and like the big fucking skull on there, just liquid death. As I'm like, tell me more about technology. Or,
right.
Or I'm doing interviews and like, tell me how you want this job. Big
like
what's spaghetti head death guy.
Fear me, I'm super fucking cool. You could be a douche and get prime.
Fear me. Yeah, exactly.
Logan Paul, man.
Fear me, I spend too much money on water. So how you doing?
I'm good. Oh, are we recording?
Yeah, we've been recording for a bit.
Oh, we have?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought we were just hanging out.
Yeah, no, I don't like it that much.
That's fair.
So what's our working title this week?
What was it? Bro News? Wasn't Bro News the one that you came up with?
Bro News is the one I come up with. I don't know. Is it hitting yet, or you still want to find something else?
Yeah, I don't like it.
We're stuck with it for life now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's fair. If we go with Bro News out of spite because one of us doesn't like it, I'm cool with that. Like, in fact, that kind of makes me like it more. Where it's like, no, this is personal now. Yeah. If you said you'd like it, we'd change it. And it's like, oh, okay, fair enough.
He's almost coming around on it. We'll have to change it before he gets anywhere.
Right. I show up next week like, yeah, I like it. We're not even doing a podcast anymore.
You're dead to me. So, all right. This week, Bro News. We'll figure out what it is next week. So, I wanted to come back to a topic you brought up last time with the Brad Pitt AI.
Yeah.
I dug into it. So, that's to combat that. The British Telecom, under their Virgin Media group, they have a group called O2, and they make software. They've built a software that's called Daisy. It's an AI old lady who is designed at engaging what do they call scammers into long conversations that waste their time.
What?
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm sorry. What do you need again? I need your credit card information. The front or the back?
Yeah. No, my husband hasn't been hard in years. Like, that is awesome.
Yeah, they call it Daisy. I've seen a few videos for it. I'm actually curious to dig into it and see how well it's worked over time.
How did you hear about this?
It just came across one of my feeds one day.
Oh, and you were like, this is the antithesis.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that so much. I need one of those for whenever my mom calls.
Have Daisy actually just deal with that, all your relatives as well.
Yeah, and like the because my mom will just go on and on about traffic and things. And I love my mom. Her and I have a very good relationship. But sometimes I'm just like, if I could have someone else listen to this conversation and then clue me in as to the parts that I will actually want to listen to.
I wonder if Spinach AI could help with that. It's a program they use that one of my companies is been using it to do notes within calls. Drives me insane. But I'd be really curious to see kind of how it worked. One of my employees or coworkers had said something at the beginning of it, and it doesn't just do the notes, it takes like the takeaways and all that. So I'd be really curious if you made your mom talk to it, what would come out of it. But the celebratory pieces at the end, one of them had said, has been 3 months, person has been 3 months sober, but doesn't think it's going to last that much longer. By something he had said in the call.
Yeah.
And he was just making a comment beforehand because he's been trying to lose a bunch of weight for his wedding. So he could fit in the suit and look good in all the pictures, as they do. But it was just kind of funny that came up.
That's funny. I mean, and I think that's a great idea. Like I as a like consumer,
right?
Like having like an AI that's predisposed to make my life like easier, but has like a personality,
right?
It's what is it? Her, the movie Her.
Oh yeah,
where the guy falls in love with the AI that he talks to.
Yep.
Which I mean, honestly, I watched that movie kind of like a horror movie because I'm like, this could be me so easily. like
in some ways, I mean. I haven't have a girlfriend. Sometimes I feel like maybe that could end up being me, right?
Like no, there are definitely moments I'm sitting next to my girlfriend and I'm like, were you manufactured? Like sometimes the level of just like.
I mean, kind of, right?
Yeah, I mean, only her breasts. Oh, she won't like that at all.
Oh no. Remember, she does listen to these. So.
Oh, she does. She's the only one too. Fuck.
I was the one who released it too.
I'm disengaging our one audience member. It's not good.
Not good.
It's not good. But
do you want to start your apology tour now?
Could you do it? Could you make an AI that will apologize to my girlfriend for me?
I will. Right after this, I'll get on that for you.
I bet it would seem much more sincere coming from an AI than it would coming from me, where I'm like.
Therefore, she won't believe it.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like.
Uncanny Valley, Spence. Sorry, no.
Yeah, right? Even I can't untether this thread for you.
Yeah, sorry, I can't help there. Come on, ChatGPT.
What if, what is it, Skynet? Is it Skynet, for the Terminator thing?
Yep, Skynet.
Where it's like, what if Skynet came from some dude who didn't have the balls to apologize to his girlfriend? Like, that's what it came from.
I mean, where else would it start?
Yeah, right? You imagine that kind of like overdub for the beginning of the movie where they were like, 100 years ago, some pansy-ass bitch couldn't apologize. And, it's all dark and deep, and there's war is hell, and,
apologize.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's naked, and he's like, I won't be back. Like,
because I'm hurt.
Yeah.
You hurt me, Ricky.
Yeah. I'm no longer in shape, and therefore I must leave. Thumbs up in the lava.
Come with me if you want to gym.
Yeah, if you want to gym.
I don't know.
That's why he and I don't hang out, is I don't like to gym.
That's right. I mean, back when I was working at Microsoft, and so I'm in a technology place, and I had a Skynet shirt, and I'd wear it to work, and I'm like, is that one of the projects you worked on? And I'm like, fucking, are you kidding me right now? How do you not know what Skynet is?
Read a book.
I still don't know what Skynet is.
Yeah.
Watch a movie.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Like what? At least and I'm a big movie guy. I maintain that no matter how fucking annoying Cameron is, what's his name? Not David Cameron, John Cameron? Is it John? I forget his name. He directed Avatar and Titanic.
Right.
I
can't remember his last name now. First name now either.
But Judgment, second Terminator's a good movie. Everyone should watch it at least once. It's a good movie.
I even think the second Avatar was better than the first one, but that's because you can't fall off the floor.
I never actually saw the second one. I did. I enjoyed the first one just fine.
Then you'll like the second, okay?
Yeah. I get everyone who's like, oh, it's Pocahontas with blue people. I'm like, that's fair, but like,
I don't think that was my problem.
Really?
Yeah, my problem was the absolute lack of anything of a plot outside of a fifth grader writing down in crayons, like. And then there's unobtainium, and then you're the blue person. And,
I mean, that's fair.
When are you sleeping?
But I mean, I will, to this day, okay, and not a lot of people know this. I'm going to actually drop some real knowledge on you, okay? every play that Shakespeare wrote, aside from his last one, The Tempest, was based on something else.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, basing your work on what other people have already done is what creativity is. And I get that we're in an age of everyone makes something.
Right.
And so everything is based on something.
Of course.
But you know, the godfather of the English language based a lot of his shit on other shit.
Of course.
And so it's like,
as someone with a fine arts degree, I totally get this. This all makes sense. There's why there's a history of art. I mean, if there was no connections between all these things, like, it's not possible.
Yeah. So if you don't like Avatar the movie because it reminds you of Pocahontas, you're not American.
Go get a pox blanket.
Yeah, you don't speak English right, and I don't agree with you. If you don't like it because it's just not that good of a movie, I respect that.
Yeah, no, my problem was the plot was really
thin.
Really thin.
Yeah.
Paper.
Not what's his name?
The
lead guy in that was supposed to be a thing, and then he never became a thing.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
I don't know.
I
hadn't watched it in years.
Yeah, well, and it was funny because I
didn't come here. I didn't come today to have a movie rant, so I didn't.
This didn't come up in your feed this week.
Yeah. So I didn't come prepared for this.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
can't remember fucking Cameron's first name right now. So.
Yeah. Well, and I'll leave it on this because that lead guy, and he was supposed to be the next big thing. He was in that. He was in Clash of the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
He was in these kind of pseudo action movies, and then I watched the movie Warrior. And there's a guy in Warrior named Joel Edgerton. And the two main characters are Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton.
Name.
And Joel Edgerton, just the way he talks, I'm like, they really wanted the guy from Avatar to do this. And then they got this guy. And this guy is so much better than the guy from Avatar. They're like, we dodged a fucking bullet here because we didn't get that guy from Avatar. This guy is great. Now, Joel Edgerton, he's in fucking everything these days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was pretty great.
Well, all that to say, I'd love to see Daisy, the AI, up against AI Brad Pitt to see who wins.
Yeah.
I want that in a whole sparred AI fight.
I feel like they would just invent their own currency. Like, and then it'd be like, and then currency will become, between AIs will become like a sport. Like, and it like this season we have AI Brad Pitt and AI or no, let's do someone other than like we have AI Keanu Reeves speaking with Rob from Milton, Washington's AI grandmother, and we'll see who has more AI currency by the end of the year. We'll do weekly like Big Brother, like weekly updates on the standings,
right?
And then we'll throw in like some Survivor curveballs and be like, oh no, she has AI cancer, like
the worst kind of cancer.
Yeah, the AI, the artificial kind.
Oh Jesus! All right, so what's your next topic?
All right, so the Grammys were this week.
I know nothing about the Grammys other than apparently Taylor Swift wore a red dress.
Yeah, that's a very common theme of really anywhere Taylor Swift goes is what she's wearing.
What she's wearing, yeah. That's all I know about it. Tell me more.
So I barely give a shit about award shows. Like I the reason I actually kind of enjoy the Grammys is because there are live performances.
Right.
And even if you don't agree with the awards, whatever, you get to see whoever perform, and that's actually kind of cool. The spectacle of it, and them actually investing money and time and shit into this.
Right.
That being said, I didn't watch anyone's performances. I did not watch the Grammys. All I saw was like the updates on my phone. And
the ticker? They make a Grammy ticker?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm just like, fuck. But and there were a couple things I wanted to talk about the Grammys, but
go on.
And I would just be remiss. I don't want to harp on it too much, but I think that Jaden Smith is a fucking idiot.
Why?
Because he wore like a decent suit, and then he wore like a house on his head.
Oh, I did see a picture of that. Yeah,
and I don't know the measurements of the house. I don't know anything about what he was trying to convey.
Uh-huh.
But he looked like a fucking idiot. Like, there's just no two ways about it. And I have major...
You'll protect this house?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think it was a haunted house, and it's like, a head like a haunted house. And it's like...
Was he there for Beetlejuice? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Queens of the Stone Age have a song called Head Like a Haunted House that came out like 10 years ago.
I'm going to have to look that up.
And I imagine that if they went to the Grammys, they wouldn't be looking like fucking idiots. But it is a good segue into at what point untalented children of talented people became a thing.
Ooh.
Like, at what point was it like, because, there's
How
like...
about the spouses of it? Kanye West's
Yeah,
wife
that was a
came
thing
naked?
too. Yeah, she didn't cut. She took off she had like a robe or like a long jacket on, and she took it off and was.
And he stood there like, buffed out at the chest and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
And I even saw like a further than that, like his ex. Not Kim Kardashian. I think it was between Kardashian and this chick. Where she was just like, yeah, I felt really trapped because of all the things he said I had to wear in public. And I'm like, that just sounds like dating Kanye. Like,
Right.
For me, there's a certain amount of, you signed up for this. Like, and the whole, and he was married. He has kids with Kim Kardashian. And, she's famous because she's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she's famous for, I think there was a point where they're like, we're going to break the internet. And they like leaked a bunch of her nude photos. And it was like, I don't know what anyone expects from this person other than cheap tricks to get attention. And I'm like, if you want to fall in on, and speaking of morons, let's talk about Kanye West. Like,
yeah,
what a waste of space this guy is. Like, I mean, I get that once upon a time he made good music, and that's a fair argument that once upon a time he made good music.
A very good friend of mine and I had a massive argument over a bar hopping event one night about the whole Kanye West, Taylor Swift, I'm going to let you talk thing for an entire evening.
Yeah.
And it was both the funniest thing we ever did, and we kept bringing it up for a long time. But very recently, I think about 2 or 3 years ago now, she had finally come back and said, you know what? Fuck it. You win that argument now.
Yeah.
Because I don't fucking like this dude anymore either.
Yeah. No, and that was kind of the weird thing for me is that when that shit went down back in the day, I was like, what a piece of shit this guy is. And I like his music way more than I've ever liked her music.
Yeah.
But I was just sitting there like, what a piece of shit this guy is. Fucking getting up on stage saying, I have an opinion. It's more important than this entire award show.
Right.
And granted, he got up there to put up someone else.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Yeah, which you want to put your friends up, but you could kindly during the commercial break go over to her and be like, hey, I thought you deserved to win. You don't have to make a big spectacle about it. And then later on, he did apologize, which is good. It's good to apologize when you make,
Didn't he kind of backhandedly do it, though? Or am I off base there?
Well, I remember him.
I want to give props where props are due.
Yeah. And I'm sure there was some kind of backhandedness to it. I know that soon after that, he was on Jay Leno. And he had and it was a very not Jay Leno interview where he admitted, he was like, I was drunk off my ass when I did that.
Okay.
And his mother had recently died.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, his mother had recently died, and I think she was getting...
Maybe you don't go to the award show then.
Yeah, well
Maybe take that responsibility.
Yeah, and I agree. But she had died unexpectedly getting, I think, plastic surgery.
Oh, wow.
And so, no one goes into plastic surgery and thinks they're going to die from it.
They do warn you about that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It is surgery, but especially your loved ones probably. And, it's very much like, my mom was so excited to go and get the surgery. She went and got the surgery, and she never came out, which is awful.
Yeah.
And so...
That's one of those motions where you have no... I can't imagine. I've had sudden deaths. Those hit me harder than anything.
Oh, yeah. And so he admitted, he was like, apparently I'm not over my mom's death. And he kind of said it was like a wake-up call for him. Like, I did this awful thing in public because I was drinking really hard because I'm still not over my mom's death. I thought I was over my mom's death. I thought I was having a good time. Then I did this shitty thing, and I think that is a sign for me as a human being that I'm not over it and I have some shit I still need to deal with.
Right.
Great. Like, honestly, after that, I was like, not even, because to me, it wasn't even like he's the victim.
Uh-huh.
It was just like no, I fucked up. I did a shitty thing. I'm owning I did a shitty thing. And now I know that I have some issues I need to deal with, which is a very great thing to do as an adult, as a human being. And so I think it was for the next 5 years or so, he went on making at least halfway decent music.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started making shitty music. And then after he started making shitty music and everyone was like, your music's shitty, he became this fucking mouthpiece that he is now.
Yeah.
But in between, and I don't know when it happened.
Did he lose an aunt?
Yeah, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
like,
anyone,
he married a Kardashian. He married a Kardashian.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
explains so much.
Which I think of Kardashians as like American royalty. It's like they really.
I think of them as a Star Trek character.
Yeah, right. They should get a bunch of red shirts and
Right.
just throw them in a room.
That's a race, right? Isn't there the Kardashians in Star Trek?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure there is.
I could see that being a thing. The Kardashians.
That's all I ever think about when that comes up. I'm terrible. Go on.
But while he was married to Kim Kardashian, and I don't know why this wasn't more publicized, because my problem with Taylor Swift, and granted, all I know about Taylor Swift,
she's too goddamn talented.
No, that's definitely not what I was going to say. Music aside, talent, I should say talent aside, because I have strong opinions about her talent and whether or not I consider her particularly talented and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that her music sends a really poor message to young women.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because there's no amount of you can get over this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go through a bad breakup, it sucks, move on with your life. It's very much like no, you can use that and never get over it and just base your entire life off of failed relationships. And
I gotta think about that one a bit.
Yeah, and whether or not that's you haven't listened to any of her, albums or anything. There's more than just the shit you hear on the radio. I'll take that. That's a fair thing to call me out on.
No, I mean, she's very open about the fact that a lot of her music is based on breakup.
Yeah, and I think
life, right?
Yeah, and to me, there's no rise above. There's no move on. It's like you're going to be singing this song about Harry Styles for the next 40 years. And it's like, you can just move on. Like, you can just you don't have to base your entire life, your entire career, your entire livelihood off of something that happens to everyone.
You know what? I'll put a pin in on that one. I'm really curious if this whole thing with Travis Kelce continues.
Yeah.
If her albums later change in some way.
Yeah. And
that would be interesting, because Taylor has not the best history with relationships.
Yeah.
And the same way rappers talk about how they want to get out of the hood or how they're hard in the hood.
And then they make the same music. And that's a fair point to point out. There is definitely a double standard, I think, out there that I think is a fair statement. But on top of that, taking this back to the Kanye thing.
Yeah.
I know that he had written a song probably within the last 5 years or so, maybe 10 years, that called her out for, and it was a reference to when he called her out on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I think on live TV, that he talked to her about it first and got the okay. And then she said after that, she was like, he did not talk to me. It is not cool that he called me out. I didn't get any of this. I think that's bullshit that fucking happened. And, playing the victim. And then Kim Kardashian came out and she's like, I literally saved these messages where she said it was okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know why anyone doesn't bring that up. Because my other problem with Taylor is that she's always the victim. Mm-hmm. Like, she has all these failed relationships, which, everyone has failed relationships.
Yeah.
And everyone, has been hurt.
The victim card
Yes,
is definitely,
and I don't, I think that that's also very detrimental for young women, is to have that like, oh, I could be a victim my entire life. It's like, no, sometimes you have to admit that you did something wrong, especially when you're younger.
Right.
When it's like, oh yeah, I was 15 and I was dating a guy and he was an asshole and he was also 15. It's like, yeah, that's dating at 15. Like this isn't a life story here. It happens to everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was something that and again, at that point, Kanye, I do think, was the Kanye we know now, who is absolutely a fucking idiot. I hate it when he talks. And I'm really glad I don't hear as much about what he has to say anymore. Maybe he's saying less, or maybe the media isn't talking as much about him because they're over it too. But
I think a bit of all that, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But he showed up.
Yeah.
They had a stripper moment on the strip and on the red
she was
carpet,
naked.
And off they went.
And I mean, at this point, who hasn't been seen naked on a red carpet? I know I have. I hope. God, otherwise I need to probably talk to a psychologist.
Do I take a drink if I haven't done it, or I take a drink if I did do it?
Yes.
Oh, well, then I guess.
Yeah, like both. Like either or.
All right, here we go.
But yeah, no, Kanye West is an idiot. Jaden Smith is an idiot. The other thing was, and I had it written down here. Sorry.
Go on.
Oh, right. So, Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys.
Oh, geez.
And and I love Kendrick. I don't.
Oh, good. Somebody you like.
Yeah, I know, right? Like for me, it's AI, Brad Pitt, and Kendrick Lamar. Those are the only people I like. But I don't love all of his music. Well, and to be fair, his music isn't really geared towards straight white. Well, I mean, my sexuality has nothing to do with it. Sorry, Kendrick. Peace and love. One love. But it's not, white dudes in suburban fucking Washington. I don't think he makes his music for us as much as, other people.
Right.
But one of the Grammys he won was for like Song of the Year, or Record of the Year, whatever it was. And it was for a diss track he wrote on Drake.
Of course it is.
And I love that. And I hate Drake. So
I don't know him that well. His music doesn't do much for me, and
yeah, and he's had a feud with just about every rapper that I actually like.
You mean what rappers do?
Yeah, and he's called out Eminem, he's called out Kendrick Lamar. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's called out other people that are big names. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if he called out Jay-Z, whatever. But he calls people out, and all I can think, and I think I've listened to maybe 3 of his songs to completion, and they're all kind of the same lyric over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. The started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team's here. And that's the entire lyric for the entire song.
Wow.
Yeah. Like 3.5 minutes of him saying that. And I'm like, Eminem has a fucking land speed record for most syllables per second.
Right.
And he's got it twice. I'm pretty sure he broke it first with his song Rap God, and then I think he broke it again with his song Godzilla. Broke his own record.
Nice.
Kendrick Lamar is the only non-jazz, non-classical artist to ever win a Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, wow.
Or at least musical act.
Right.
And I'm like, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team's here. And I'm like, that is not award-worthy in any way, okay? That is basically 2 sentences reaffirming each other.
Yeah.
And you want to start beef with this Pulitzer Prize winning commercial. He's doing the fucking Super Bowl this year.
Right.
He's already been at 1 Super Bowl. He's won Grammys. He's won, the list goes on. And Kendrick Lamar, I think, is younger than 30.
Oh, is he?
He might be in his early 30s, but he's not an old. He's got a long career ahead of him.
Yeah.
And it's like, Drake, who the fuck are you? Like, you know, like I've.
Isn't he a Canadian treasure? At this point?
I know he's Canadian.
He's up there with Justin Bieber.
Yeah, and I've just never gotten his thing. I've never gotten why people like his music because it's very basic and very boring to me. Granted, I'm not the biggest hip hop guy, but when I find hip hop I like,
right,
I'm into it. You know, I've listened to more Eminem songs than I can fucking count.
Right.
But I love Eminem. And, you know, and Eminem was shouted out by a poet as someone, like, I think his name's Seamus Heaney, who won a Pulitzer for his poetry. And in an interview, they were like, what do you think is keeping poetry alive in the modern era? And he said, Eminem.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
You know?
I mean, he's really good with it.
Oh, absolutely. And his songs are.
I haven't really listened to much lately. I felt it's kind of on the slide there a bit, but
yeah, no, and his newer stuff is he's showing off, in my opinion, which as he should. You know, there's in my opinion, there's a level of Eminem shows up and Eminem does what Eminem does,
right?
And everyone, and you know, it was groundbreaking in the 2000s,
right?
But now he's been doing it for, you know, almost 30 years. And it's
what
like,
else does he have to prove?
Yeah, exactly. And so
I'm just out there slinging jams.
Exactly. And I think that he's earned that. He's definitely earned that. I can just kind of, if I make a song, I can do it however I want, and I'm going to throw it out there, and people are going to listen to it, and they're going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it. Fucking love Eminem. But this goes back to Drake, because there are very few people I've never met who I would fight on sight.
Drake is somebody.
Drake is one of them. Okay, I would fight Drake on sight. I do not like this man. Okay,
can't wait to see him literally stomp a mud hole.
I know, right? And I'm like,
he's a big dude. Man.
He is a big dude, but I'm scrappy. Okay, I might not be a big dude, but I'm mean as a fucking honey badger. Okay,
bite.
Yeah, I bite. I tear at him. Okay, I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm pretty sure my life has been hard. I don't think Drake and I think Kanye both were, and I could be wrong about Drake, but I think they both grew up in fairly wealthy houses.
Oh yeah.
So they haven't had like NWA struggles or like Wu-Tang Clan struggles in their life. I'm not saying I have, but my life has not been easy, hence me in a room doing a podcast at 32.
With tears in your eyes.
Talking about people at the Grammys who don't even know my name. You know, have never even heard of me.
They probably never will.
Actually, I think I talked to Ariana Grande on the phone once.
What?
Yeah, no,
that's a non sequitur.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's the only one. She's the only 6 degrees that I know of. Because, no, I think I was in I know, right? Like, I think you're just so surprised that I'm actually telling the truth right now, that I'm not trying to be funny at all. But, like,
sorry, go on.
No, like, I was in a band in high school, or it might have been right after high school, but the drummer for that band apparently grew up in California and went to school with Ariana Grande.
Oh, yeah?
And this was her being the superstar she is now. I think she was on Nickelodeon at the time.
Gotcha.
And he was like, yeah, I know Ariana Grande, and like just called her on the phone. And I was like,
give me that.
Yeah, but well, basically, I think I was driving the car when this happened, and I was like, and I didn't even know who she was. Like, they were like, yeah, she's on Nickelodeon or something. And I was like, cool.
You're right.
And I think I was just like, give me that. I was like, are you on Nickelodeon? And I think she was like, yeah. I was like, cool. Here's your phone back. Like that was it. That was the entire conversation.
As bad as my my godbrother got us. He used to work for Tower, and we had like not backstage passes, but like meet and greet with Primus.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sitting there like with like maybe 10 other people like hanging around in like the floor of the Paramount, and I'm like, I am literally standing next to Les Claypool, and I don't know what the fuck to say.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's one of those, and I've thought about this too, because I've met, I think, I've had 0 face-to-face interactions with anyone who's famous.
Oh, yeah?
And,
that's surprising. Someone usually does at some point.
I mean, probably the closest I've come is I saw Rent at the Paramount.
Okay.
And the two leads from the movie and the original leads were in the show.
Oh, yeah.
And they came out and signed autographs afterwards. So I was closer to them than I am to you right now, but we didn't really have a conversation. They just signed my shit and moved on.
Well, moved on. Gotcha. Fair enough.
And the other one would probably be there's a band I really like called Vintage Trouble, and the lead singer of that band is featured in Hawkeye, the Marvel show, because it takes place in New York and they do like a Broadway production of the Avengers, and he's one of the guys who sings in the band. And I went to their show once, and they're a very involved band, and I got to high-five him, talk to him after the show. Very cool guy, but I don't know if that's considered particularly famous. It was cool for me because I really liked him, and I love his music, and his performance in the show was awesome and hilarious. The Rent thing was really cool, but I'm a very laid back type of human being. And so I like to think that if I ran into a famous person, I could at least pretend like I was cool.
It's weird how hard that goes out the window sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is I've never actually been there. I've never actually done it and been like
stressed to that point.
Yeah. But then I guess there would be a difference between meeting someone like Drake, who I avidly dislike,
right,
and meeting someone like Eminem, who I actually very much am very fond of. Because I see me handling those two people very differently.
Very differently. Well, one of them you want to fight, and the other one you want to hug. Right. So I can see how that goes differently.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not a bitch. I'm not going to sucker punch Drake, okay? I'm going to be like, I don't like you and we're fighting. And he's going to be like, oh, okay. Because he's Canadian. He's like, oh, okay. You sure you want to do that? And I'm like,
I'm sure that's how he talks.
Yeah,
when he's
right.
Not rapping.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's like when Adele talks. Like when Adele talks, she's like, and then she sings, and it's fucking beautiful. And it's like, how are these two things related?
No, that's like Ozzy Osbourne's the closest to that.
Yeah, that too. Ozzy's a good example.
He's so like wrecked on drugs, like he can barely talk. But the minute he's singing, he's like back in it.
Yeah,
he's lived his whole life. It's like those people who can only like play the instrument when they're drunk or play darts when they're drunk because that's the only way they know how.
Yeah,
something like that.
Is that how you got good at darts? Did
absolutely
like you get hit in the head?
Yes.
Yeah, like, well, and I can attest that when we are not
playing darts tonight.
Yeah, right. I can attest that when we are not podcasting, Rob has a speech impediment, and I can't understand a fucking word he says. Like, I keep him around mostly as like my little friend that I'm like, oh yeah, he's totally cool, and he's like,
They had to mop up the drool.
Yeah, and I'm just like. Soon as the microphone turns on, though, it's like he's there. He's on it. He's got topics and he's like an observer. Like honestly, I don't think he actually has a speech impediment. I think he's just lazy. Like
he's mostly that.
Yeah, you turn the mics off and he's just like I don't
have to try hard anymore.
Just do whatever you want to me. Don't wake me up.
Make more beer.
Yeah, make more beer.
Make more beer.
Just pour it on me.
Well, I think we've done a very good job of spending 40 minutes not talking about the news.
Yeah,
which I don't think anybody fucking wants to do this week.
I talked about the Grammys. I brought up the Grammys.
Grammys were good. We talked about the AI.
Yeah.
I guess I'll end it on this. There's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. I would say be diligent. Don't let it normalize. And fight for what you believe in. This is insane.
That'd be a good title. Don't let it normalize.
Don't let it normalize.
Okay, next week, watch our show. Our new show called Don't Let It Normalize.
Don't let it normalize.
All right.
All right, man. Next week,
we're going to do trivia tonight. We got 6th last week.
I think it was like 6th. We took 1st, and then we took 6th, and gotta get back to it.
Yeah,
that first round killed us.
It did. But we're gonna get it back this week. And then people will want to listen to us talk again. And
that's right.
We'll have not only self-respect, but the respect of people who probably don't have a lot going on.
Will you like me finally, Dad? Bye.
Bye.